Hello guys, it's Liam here today, and today this is going to be a review of the Bachmann 32XX Earl class / Duke dogs. So as you can see, this model does come fully packaged to the absolute max. As you can probably see by the thickness of the box in comparison to the model inside there. So we'll crack it open. So here's the model a bit closer up now. Now, I'd just like to say that I do think that the Duke dogs are probably one of my more favourite classes of Great Western engines. They are quite distinctive in their looks because they were actually recycled engines. They had they were combined from the old Great Western Bulldog classes of engine and the Dukes, I believe. And so they combined the two with the boilers and the boiler and the frames, and hence the name the Duke dogs, although officially they were of course called the Earl class. Now these engines were started being built from 1936 onwards and were designed by of course Charles Collett. And so shirt button livery is actually the earliest livery that these engines carried, which is the example that I have before you. And basically they were built to run on sort of the old Cambrian lines in Wales, up to Porthmadog and around Tywyn and all those sorts of sort of North Wales areas that had steep grades and sharp corners. So the 440 design with the boiler capable of 180 psi, they were very successful for where they were, but unfortunately with the relocation of a lot of the Great Western moguls, and in later years the standard tanks and the 2MTs, they sort of phased these engines out. But of course these engines were also built to be lightweight as well. For a lot of there were still a lot of timber bridges along the Cambrian lines. One famous example of course being Barmouth Bridge, which is still there today. So there were a lot of timber trestles that these engines had to cross, and so they actually had yellow root coating, which meant they could go anywhere that a 5700 pannier tank could go, like for example this one here. So interestingly enough, these engines had the same root classification, even though this engine is quite a bit bigger and quite a bit more powerful. So that just a bit of a basic trivia for you there on the class. So enough about the actual history of the class, and now onto the model. So this model is absolutely packed with little goodies for the eye to wander to. We do of course have, starting from the front, we don't have sprung buffers, but they are very nice buffers which are metal. We also have the front vacuum pipe and screw link couplings, which is all separately fitted, and the coupling you have to fit yourself. We also have the lampines, which are separately fitted. We've got a wee separately fitted valve here on the front of the smoke box. We also have a separately fitted smoke box dart, which is completely non-moulded. Got another lamp iron on the top of the smoke box. We have obviously the separately fitted handrail as well, which goes all the way around the boiler and the smoke box, which looks very nice. We do also have the chimney, which I believe which is copper capped. I believe that is also metal. We also obviously have the front bogie, which obviously free pivots quite smoothly. Doesn't derail too much, well, at all, which is excellent. We also have just separately fitted handrails above the ladder there, and coming round we've got the lovely external side rods, which basically is a big seller for the class in my opinion. I think this class wouldn't be nearly as exciting or interesting to watch in motion without the external side rods, and just watching them go round and round is something really almost mesmerising. It's like watching fire. And so that's a big thing on the model, which has also been captured very, very well. We do also have the splashes and the suspension springs, which are all separately fitted as well. We have the whistle and whistle guard, which is separately fitted, and also quite a nice wee thing they've added also is on the cab windows. They do have fully flush glazing, and we've got another wee handrail on the side of the cab here. The plates are printed on, which is good because it means that it makes it nice and easy if you wanted to fit your own etch plates. Now this engine is also numbered 3214, which I looked it up and was based at Porthmatic. So a true Welsh engine there. And also coming a bit further around, I may just have to turn the model for you guys to be able to see a bit better. So we've also got a whole lot of cab detail, which is very, very well picked out, including floorboards, copper piping. The gauge glass looks fantastic. We've also got a big red regulator, which is separately fitted, pressure gauges, and a screw reverser. We also do have an apron plate, although unfortunately the apron plate is too small, and the model has to have the tender distance, which is adjustable, perched right up against the cab for that to actually sit properly, and that doesn't really, that basically stops the model from going around curves. So a bit of a letdown there. However, I feel that you know, it's not too much of an issue, but a bit of a wee letdown. We've also got the separately fitted handrails on the tender, between the tender and the cab, and the separately fitted handles and water gauge on the tender, along with the breathers and toolboxes. The coal loader is also removable, which I've already removed for this video because it's too hard to remove while on camera. And then working right back, we also have separately fitted handrails, another screw-link coupling, vacuum pipes and lamp irons on the back of the tender as well. So very good detail all round, not to mention of course the basic rivet details all over the model, and also the separately fitted brake rigging underneath the model as well. So that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant in my opinion. So absolutely almost basically perfect in terms of detail. I don't think there's much you could actually add to it to make it a lot better. Something I also forgot to mention is that this model is of course DCC Ready, which means that if you so wish to, you can fit a DCC decoder straight to it, plug in, basically plug and play, which obviously means there's no harsh wiring to worry about if you wanted to make this locomotive DCC, you know, run on DCC. And for this, the wires go between the locomotive and the tender, just via the coupling there. And in the tender is where the socket is for the DCC chip, and also in a bag of goodies that comes with the model, you also have the bracket there for the speaker. Which I also forgot to mention is you also do get a wee bag of fire irons and a few spare screws and bits and pieces there. And so yeah, this locomotive can have DCC sound as well if you were wanting to go that far with it. So it's just another little thing really that makes the model quite a good purchase. Something else I also forgot to mention was, it's a little bit of a letdown about the model really, and that is actually the price that comes with the model. Now, as you would expect really, a brand new Bachmann model is expected to be, you know, on the steeper side of the price range, but this model in New Zealand retails at about $350 odd, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'll put the conversion to pounds up on the screen. For a model, for a model of its size as well, it's not brilliant. I actually got this in a 50% off one-day sale, which was why I bought it, because otherwise there was no way I was going to be paying that much for the model. So I feel like I got quite lucky there with that, and snatched it up really just as a matter of luck more than anything. But that's the only unfortunate thing, is they are quite pricey. So for the modelers that are wanting to model on a more, I wouldn't say tighter, but you know, aren't willing to splash out that much money for a loco, this model does sort of become a bit out of reach. So I it's one little disappointment about the model really, but it's not about the model, it's about the actual the way it's being sold. So again, it's not a criticism on the model. I can't really put the model down for that. And so I don't know really if value for money is really a big factor of this. If it were, you know, I think it's definitely a fantastic model, but I just don't think it's worth that much money. You know, you pay a you pay a similar price for something maybe if it's you know, if it's already DCC sound fitted, you know, not just ready, then you might be looking at that sort of price range. But when it's just an analog model and it's, you know, fresh out of the crate, it's sort of a bit hard to sort of say that it is excellent value for money. So my recommendation there is, if you do want one of these models, wait till they go on sale. They are a very good model, but unless you really want one, yeah, they are quite pricey. So that's just sort of the one sort of biggest letdown really about if you want to own one of these models. So to cap it off then, the Bachmann Duke Dog I think is overall a stunning model. They really have gone that extra mile to just add little extra details that they didn't have to, and I think that this model is right up at the frontier of the modelling world in terms of detail and also performance. Now, I'm afraid I won't be able to show any footage of this this thing running on the layout as of yet, because I've only been running it sort of up and down sidings on Glenmore recently. But once I get all the wiring done on Glenmore, I will chuck a video up of this thing running with maybe a goods train or a passenger train, and a few other engines as well, which you guys haven't seen running yet on my channel. So I promise once I get all that wiring done, I'll do a big running session for everyone to enjoy. So until then, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please remember to like, comment and subscribe. And until then guys, see you later.